That's it? Okay. What's the paper?
Good.
Very good. आपका satisfaction जरूरी है. कितना मार्क्स का था पेपर? Maybe 70. ठीक है ना. देखो, you are happy, your parents are happy. So how am I, Radhika? Guys, in Janvi and she is तुम्हारा नाम जो 10 का बच्चे को बोला, you are all laughing. Or like starting alphabet.
A.
अनुष्का. अरे बुलाया, तुम्हारा नाम से उधर बुलाया वो बच्चे. You are all laughing. Akansha. Correct. How are you, Akansha? She was doing gracefully outside today. 2 lectures now only?
Yes.
Okay. So I think we have started with the hydrosphere and we are with that low tides and high tides. So वो भी खत्म किया.
मतलब explain क्या था?
Did you draw the diagram? आज थोड़ा इधर कम कर रहे हैं.
क्या वो first section में है.
That's very good. First picture में क्या मैंने तो लेकिन अच्छा नहीं. Okay.
आपने explain क्या था?
बच्चे के आदत से इतना छोटा था. I lost my sister when I was in my school and college. She no more. तो पता नहीं मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. I tried to search my mom. ठीक है. She was very fond of students. Unfortunately, she was very good. फिर अब तक पूरा emotional हो गया. थोड़ा नहीं था नहीं होगा. Don't worry, आपके सामने emotions. Did we draw the diagram? Columns of the tides हम लोग ने लिखा तो हाँ चलो पहला वो heading डाल दो. आज ये चैप्टर को फिनिश कर देते हैं. The boy should come and तो क्या उसको शॉर्ट मेथड से करेंगे. Causes of tides है. 4 tides से क्या लिखा है वॉल्यूम में? Causes of रहेगा है ना?
Factors that cause tides.
ने पहले क्या बोला? आकांक्षा का जगह पर विराट कोहली वाइफ. Causes of tides.
Factors that.
अच्छा ठीक है बाबू, ठीक है बाबू. So we have Earth as it E, we have Moon as a M. Again this side. Am I saying Moon or Sun is also there?
No.
Sun is also there. Sun is also there. And when we have this quadrafacture, or it is in the which direction 90 degree, Earth. Here we have Sun and here we have Moon. So this I say high tide, correct? This we say low tide. What does this high and low tides difference according to you, the picture? Here Sun and Moon exerts high gravitational pull, correct? So if you have seen the diagram like this दिया है, and फिर एक bulging ऐसा भी दिया रहेगा और एक bulging ऐसा भी दिया रहेगा, है ना? Whereas here this side it is trying to bulge, but this side what Sun is doing, it is nullifying. What is the word? Nullifying the gravity by whom? By the Moon. So all the Moon is trying to pull the waters, but who has nullified? Sun. Just because they are not in which line? They are in which angle? Generally, we have 2 kind of tides. One is a neap tide, and this is a spring tide. So generally I say the word highest of the high tides are spring tide. So these are 20% higher, higher and upward, higher than the high tide. And these are 20% lower than the low tide, lower than the low tide. So now you say, what is a periodicity? What is the meaning of that periodicity? Yeah, how much? Every day, I said every day, what is that? We have one high tide and one low tide. So what will be the time difference between both? So they say close to 12 hours. Not exact, but they say close to. Next time you go with your friends or family members to a beach, you observe the water will be very, very behind if it is in the morning time. And up till afternoon, it is behind only. After the sun sets, what is happening? It is coming up till your better. So that is a high tide, evening time, and morning to afternoon time, it is low tide. Morning to afternoon, kiska force ज़्यादा strong है. And evening में sun dip होता है और कौन निकलता है. That is what we have high. So every day we have a one high tide and we have one low tide. But then every month we will have one high tide, which is called a spring tide, and that same month we'll have a one low tide, which is called a neap tide. Now looking at the volume of the textbook, tell me which day it is. Difference between Amavasya and Purnima. What is Amavasya is called as? Paka? एक ऑप्शन तो दे सकता हूँ अमावस्या है या तो पूर्णिमा अच्छा व्हाट इज अमावस्या आपके घर में ये सब होता है कि नहीं होता मम्मी का अच्छा क्यों क्यों अच्छा किसके घर में होता है सीरियसली अमावस्या का वो कुछ करते हैं ना महाराष्ट्र लोग
हमें तो कहते हैं कि घर के बाहर नहीं
अमावस्या के दिन क्यों You don't go out. मैडम का स्कूल है बट वे इवनिंग डे हाँ बट वो क्यों बोलते हो तो पूछा देखो नॉर्मली मम्मी अभी ओल्ड एज उनका जो कल्चर रहा सॉरी आई नॉट सेइंग मम्मी स्कूल मे बी मेरे जैसे या मेरे से भी छोटा रहेगा नहीं ऐसा बोला मैंने लेडीज का एज में बोलते ना in there when they were in the remote area, that is the day no light is there, and Mumbai city में हर जगह light डाला है, so that is the time you guys get afraid of that darkness. That is it. And आप लोगों के घर में normally grandfather रहने दो उसको हाथ में grandfather या granny आपका जो भी है long live, अगर नहीं है it is the dad who will be keeping fast. Like I keep fast for my dad. Okay, अमावस्या. मेरा मॉम हर महीने पूछा तुझे मालूम नहीं मतलब कैलेंडर में वो नहीं दिखता है तू बोल जिस दिन अमावस्या में फास्टिंग करो तूने खाना क्यों अरे तू पहले बोलना मैंने गो आउट फॉर माय लेक्चर्स हाउ डू आई इतना पढ़ा लिखा है इतना मतलब पढ़ा लिखा में अमावस्या नहीं आता till now she is very angry so always remember अमावस्या means no moon so it is a new moon because उसके बाद जो मून निकलेगा छोटा 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 करके बड़ा है that is new whereas पूर्णिमा it is full moon मतलब exact full moon रहेगा और ऐसा लगेगा कि 3 दिन तक वो full moon ही रहता नो जोग्राफर से 3 दिन क्या पहला नाइट से वो थोड़ा 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 कम होते जाए और exact 15 days के बाद वो पूरा ही बंद हो जाए that is पूर्णिमा अमावस्या अमावस्या के बाद न्यू मून आता है सो अमावस्या इज न्यू मून नाइट एंड वेरएस पूर्णिमा में फुल मून रहता है तो दैट इज फुल मून नाइट अभी बोलो सब हाई टाइड रहेगा अमावस्या
नहीं
इतना बड़ा
अमावस्या में रहेगा हाईलाइट
इज करेक्ट अमावस्या में मून ही नहीं है So that is the time low tide. And when there is Purnima, it is full moon. So pura power rahega. And if you have some Kohli friends, Maharashtrian Kohli friends, you ask them, they will not go for fishing. Night mein karte na, because the swelling will be very high. So ज़्यादा high tides आने का chances. ये नारल पूर्णिमा मनाते हैं ना? So you are not Kohli. नारल पूर्णिमा है, गुरु पूर्णिमा है, महाराष्ट्र में सेलिब्रेट है गुरु पूर्णिमा वो क्या है? टीचर्स डे के दिन होता है या अलग होता है?
नहीं अलग होते हैं वो एग्जैक्टली
क्या करते हैं वो? मेरा एक फ्रेंड बोला गुरु को बेटा के नारियल सर को हो गया गुरु पूर्णिमा because in Tamil Nadu there is one village everyone sits after that puja comes and he breaks and that also टक्कर लगेगा full shame अगर नारियल फूटा तो पापी नहीं है तो पुण्यवान सर फूटा तो पापी और इधर पुजारी को फोड़ने नहीं आया सर फोड़ने and continuously 100-200 दिन में रहेगा 1000 लोग एक टूटा और दूसरा टूटा तो एक मोटी सीएम थी ना उसने बैन कर दिया अभी भी मैंने सुना कुछ जगह पर चुप चुप के होता है अंधविश्वास चलिए you write down this in your notebook all factors affecting the tides and look at the volume वही लिखना पहले डायग्राम ड्रॉ कर लो पहला कौन सा डायग्राम ड्रॉ करने का you draw this diagram हाँ फिर मैं नोट्स दे दूंगा इसके ऊपर लिखो आइटम In my school days also this Amavasya Purnima was very confusing for me. Now I become older, so I understand what is it. हाई टाइड करके लिखो वो डायग्राम बनाना लो टाइड ये वाला Oh, you carry umbrella. Hey, today it was rainy. That's what that is. So I see denudation we have completed fully, correct?
yes.
Hydrosphere started today. I tried to finish. And what is the next chapter for you guys? Hydrosphere. Hydrosphere, na? Deep to touch more studies. For a long time I haven't shown any videos. Today we have a good time. I'll show you for ocean currents, and that will be better. क्या गूगल क्रोम में मस्ती करके रखते हैं तुम्हारा नाम का गूगल क्रोम में तो बंद करो ना है ना ocean currents. Who is laughing giggling? Jagvi and Radhika. Gayatri, I'm sorry. Okay. You know my phobia, na? Namophobia. Many times happen. I will pick up the mobile and I need to make a very urgent call. Huh? Next 15 minutes तक याद नहीं रहेगा किसको call. फिर सामने से 2 बार कॉल आया फिर मैंने उससे बात भी किया फिर मैं उसको 2 बार बोला अरे यार किसी को तो मुझे अर्जेंट कॉल करने का था तू क्यों बीच में कॉल किया अरे वो अर्जेंट कॉल मेरा ही था हाँ वेट अटेंडेंस शीट डिड आई ब्रिंग अच्छा हाँ हाँ जूम चालू है मैंने मिनिमाइज किया
चालू है ना
हाँ चालू है मैं भी वीडियो दिखा रहा चालू है चालू First diagram you have to draw this, right? High tide. Second diagram you draw this, right? Low tide. This is the one. Low tide. This is high tide. It is high tide. Oh my. Sorry. My keyboard side. You are this one geography, what you call it, topo sheets. Did they mention topo sheets? नहीं अभी तक कुछ बोला नहीं है ना? जैसे ही स्कूल में बोल देगा मुझे बता दे. Because topo is a topic which really nightmare the 10th people. 9th में तो कुछ नहीं है, ज़्यादा कम नहीं है. Somebody uses a very strong perfume here.
I used because I didn't know.
No, it's okay. I'm just asking. It's not a senior. It's a good child. It's okay. So use it. मैं जब भी इधर आता हूँ तो परफ्यूम आता है, इधर जाने के बाद नहीं है. Good. You love it? And Akansha, how's your studies going? तो Akansha बोलते हैं मुझे क्या? And she's a charming girl. And Janvi, how are you? Wait, we give the sign. That all a sign. How your studies? How about my subject? And Gayatri, you remember my first online class with you?
Yes.
क्या मैं बोल रहा था?
Urban civilization.
क्या बोल रहा था मैं?
Can you add how is the new building construct करेगा?
तो क्या बोलता मराठी में लास्ट वीक थोड़ी. अरे वो नहीं पूछ रहा हूँ. टॉपिक के बारे में क्या बात है? अभी 9 आई थी मेरा क्लास में. I think you attended only one lecture of mine, right? And second lecture only she came online. या ऑनलाइन पहला है फिर ऑफलाइन? हाँ, बट पहला ऑनलाइन है क्या ऑफलाइन? I think you're too tiny to understand. Yeah, I seem to that you're too tiny at that time. Chalo. Now, although we are going to give you the causes for the tides, I think many students of my 9th ICSE are finding difficult to understand what are currents. Like how beautiful is the line. Come on, I can read with the proper English.
We live by the currents, planned by the tides and follow the sun.
कुछ समझा क्या बोल रहा है? देखो, we live by the currents. जो भी हमारे साथ आता है, currents सबको लेके जाता है ना. And pay planned by the tides. मतलब ये आएगा तो मैं ये करेगा. अगर मेरे पास पैसा मिलेगा ना, मैं मर्सिडीज खरीदेगा. फिर and follow the sun. Sun मतलब क्या है? सब bright दिखा दे. 3 वक्त का खाना नहीं है और मर्सिडीज के बारे में बात है. समझा? So that's a lovely line. Okay, हो गया? Reduce the volume.
1992, carrying bath toys got caught in a storm. Shipping containers washed overboard, and the waves swept 28,000 rubber ducks and other toys into the North Pacific. But they didn't stick together. Quite the opposite. The ducks have since washed up all over the world, and researchers have used.
Now look here. Up till here, the ducks are in one place. But look how the ducks are washed out in different directions. What is it showing? Ocean currents. Currents are there within the ocean and they move according to the wind. So generally we have two kinds of currents. One is warm current and other is cold current. What is the influence of a warm current? If it passes by a region where it is very cold, it will melt the ice caps. It can moderate the temperature. Like we have a current called Labrador. बोलो cold current है क्या hot current है? तो मुझे एक लड़का बोला नहीं सर कुत्ता है अरे कुत्ता भी उधर से आया. अच्छा, पर golden retriever current भी है क्या? मैंने नहीं. Correct. So this movement of this duck shows that the currents are moving in different directions.
used their paths to chart a better understanding of ocean currents. Ocean currents are driven by a range of sources: the wind, tides, changes in water density, and the rotation of the earth. The topography of the ocean floor and the shoreline modifies those motions, causing currents to speed up, slow down, or change direction. Ocean currents fall into two main categories: surface currents and deep ocean currents. Surface currents control the motion of the top 10% of the ocean's water, while deep ocean currents mobilize the other 90%. Though they have different causes, surface and deep ocean currents influence each other in an intricate dance that keeps the entire ocean moving. Near the shore, surface currents are driven by both the wind and tides, which draw water back and forth as the water level falls and rises. Meanwhile, in the open ocean,
what they are saying, one is surface current and another is deep ocean current. Did you see that dance which is done by? They are which currents? Ocean currents, surface currents, which are coming and pulling, coming and pulling. And deep ocean currents are those currents which are not going to affect you and me. But definitely it can generate either hot or cold, depend upon the area of the ocean in that particular temperature. Like we'll be studying something called as Oeshio, Kuroshio. फिर लड़की ने मुझे इतना डरावना नाम क्यों रखा है? मतलब जिसने भी उसने वो करंट डिस्कवर किया उसका नाम से रखा. You know that even you go to America, we have tornadoes. You know what are tornadoes?
Okay,
High speed circulating wind. And uska speed starting में कम रहता है, but as it gains the speed, it becomes more. And it takes even the big cars. So I don't know if you have seen some American cars, they call it more like a Jeep only. And I remember Ram 2000 करके car है वो. कार भी नहीं, हमारे इंडिया में तो लॉरी है, और उनके लिए वो कार है. टर्न द गाड़ी, मुझे तो उसका आवाज से भी डर लगता. नो माय बॉय, डोंट वरी, ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है. बोलते क्या कुछ भी नहीं है? 280 माइल्स में वो ड्राइव कर रहा है, क्लोज टू 150 और 200 किलोमीटर पर आवर. फिर मैंने बोला ये बहुत बड़ा ही मानता था स्पीड का, तो मैं पर्पसली विंडशील्ड को नीचे किया. तो वे इट वाज पुशिंग द विंड इनसाइड. बोला बंद कर, पहले बंद कर. Can you imagine in India 100 के ऊपर हम जाएगा तो क्या होता है? सब तुरंत हमारा चलन कर जाएगा. But why I'm saying the currents have that much of force. It can create or it can destroy a particular region. Correct? So how many types of current? One is ocean current, other is deep water. Deep ocean or deep water?
Combined surface currents. As wind blows over the ocean, it drags the top layers of water along with it. That moving water pulls on the layers underneath, and those pull on the ones beneath them.
So what are the factors? ये जो layer है, it is pulling. No, the first layer was moving. Because of the first layer was moving up and down, it has pulled even the bottom. So when they ask you difference between an ocean and a tide is a purely wind action, which is normally putting in the shores. Whereas oceans, as you have seen, one is that surface, that is deep one. So since the upper part of that ocean was moving, it forced the water to move. You remember that ignition temperature boiling, वो कैसे होता है? Hot molecules escape up, colder molecules go down. Hot molecules escape up, colder molecules go down. So what is the boiling point of water? How do you know? Because at 100 degrees it starts boiling, either in America or in India or in Africa. But then I have to add one more word. What is that? At room temperature. I don't know if you see the winters of some part of the world, it is so severe cold. There are many videos, or if you have gone there, you can literally enjoy also. Boil the water in your beaker, open the window, and throw that water. Boiling water. Huh? By the time you throw the water, it goes into there, it becomes ice. You know the biggest waterfall in the world? Niagara. Half is in US and half is in Toronto, Canada. And to be very frank, some climbers have climbed the Niagara during the winter. So the Niagara Falls, बेचारा किसी ने उसको क्या बोलते हैं? तुम लोग खेलते हैं ना? वो you stand still. Statue. किसी ने Niagara को statue कर दिया. And सबसे बड़ा ट्रेजेडी है, बेचारा बहुत हाइट में चढ़ रहा था, मालूम पड़ा 2 आइस क्यूब्स टूट गया, गिर गया. That also happens. So this is what we are saying ocean currents, either cold current or warm current.
In fact, water as deep as 100 meters is still affected by the wind at the ocean surface. If you zoom out to look at the patterns of surface currents all over the earth, you'll see that they form big loops called gyres, which travel clockwise in the northern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere. That's because of the way the Earth's rotation affects the wind patterns that give rise to these currents. If the Earth didn't rotate, air and water would simply move back and forth between low pressure at the equator and high pressure at the poles. But as the Earth spins, air moving from the equator to the North Pole is deflected eastward, and air moving back down is deflected westward. The mirror image happens in the southern hemisphere, so that the major streams of wind form loop-like patterns around the ocean basins. This is called the Coriolis effect. The winds push the ocean beneath them into the same rotating gyres.
Anyone heard of this Coriolis effect? Normally the Earth rotates west to east.
Yes.
In the northern hemisphere, look at the wind. Just to come towards the west, it will be deflected towards the east. And in southern hemisphere, it has to go towards the west. Again, it will be deflected to the east. For example, if the substance was not rotating, I hit with a substance, one arrow or anything, it will hit here, deflect here. Natural. But since it is rotating, look here, it will deflect, it will come in this direction. Because I rotate over. So this is called as Coriolis. So northern hemisphere में different movement है, southern hemisphere में different movement. Shall I rewind and show you?
Because what patterns around the ocean base called the Coriolis effect. The winds push the ocean beneath them into the same rotating gyres. And because water holds on to heat more effectively than air, these currents help redistribute warmth around the globe. Unlike surface currents, deep ocean currents are driven primarily by changes in the density of seawater. As water moves towards the North Pole, it gets colder. It also has a higher concentration of salt because the ice crystals that form trap water while leaving salt behind. This cold, salty water is more dense, so it sinks, and warmer surface water takes its place, setting up a vertical current called thermohaline circulation. Thermohaline circulation of deep water and wind-driven surface currents combine to form a winding loop called the global conveyor belt. As water moves from the depths of the ocean to the surface, it carries nutrients that nourish the microorganisms which form the base of many ocean food chains. The global conveyor belt is the longest current.
What is this? This is not for your portion, but should we explain? Normally, you might have seen some microbes or small organisms which live in the ocean water. Neither they want very hot temperature, nor they want cold temperature. So, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना lukewarm. You know what is lukewarm? So normally this is the temperature which is that microorganisms are growing. And many fish love that organisms. Have you heard about planktons? Have you heard about at least whales? How many types of whales at least you know? Give me one, two, three. Blue whales. जो नहीं है उसका नाम whale. और कुछ? It is found in India also. We call it as a sperm whale, sperm, S-P-E-M. 40 to 42 feet in length it is. And then it has a very huge mouth. We saw a 40 feet ka whale kinna hai. 5 or 6 human beings can go at one. But to be very frank, that fish is a 100% vegetarian fish. So fisherman is a vegetarian. मतलब वो human being है बाकी fish को नहीं खाता. It just keeps the mouth open. And वो पानी के अंदर जो अभी लोग ने बोला microbes, it eats that only. फिर मुझे एक स्टूडेंट ने पूछा सर इतना बड़ा कैसे ग्रो होता है सर? और उसका साइज ही इतना. Sorry to say, some students I have heard 8th or 9th में है ना? Sorry I can't say. फिर किसी ने मुझे केस कर देगा ऐसा नहीं. ठीक. तो मुझे वो लड़के का नाम मालूम नहीं था. मैंने बोला that boy who looks fat sir body shape. Is it so? उधर का एक एक्सेंस body shape कर रहा है. अभी मुझे नाम याद नहीं तो बोलो ना गर्ल है बॉय है. अरे कैसा गर्ल है कैसा बॉय So if you look at that sperm whale, microbes are present inside the water, and it is normally ocean water. तो बेचारा अपना मुंह खोल के जाता है, उसके पीछे पीछे छोटा छोटा फिश बहुत जाता है, because through the fins it escapes and it eats. And if you have seen any time fishing going, never fishes go with the wind movement of the water. Always fish क्या करेगा? Water का opposite movement है swim करेगा. Does you know? No, yeah, that's great. Have you heard about some popular fishes? There are certain fishes which eats only the human flesh. And they are strictly non-vegetarian. And the teeth are razor sharp. Laser find out karo. And I remember during my school and college days, I was a big fan of the shark. And tell me, most dangerous shark available? Abhi unko bata rहा था. Great white, tiger, lemon shark, silver tip shark. Shark नहीं तो पूरा ocean world खत्म हो जाएगा. How? Because it is the most deadliest predator in the water. मतलब जितना unwanted fish पैदा होता है उसको पूरा खाने में इनका रीजन है. And in one part of the Australia where two husband and wife were swimming, one of the great white just had a small bite of that husband. She told that half the body was gone. Because उसका एक teeth minimum 8 नहीं तो 11 inch का रहता है. Not one, it has hundreds of teeth in one jaw. Great white कभी नहीं देखा है? देखो, it looks majestic. नहीं इतना छोटा नहीं है बाबा. 18 feet है. 18 inch इतना ही तो है. 11 or 9 minimum ऐसा पकड़ो इतना. तो एक teeth इतना बड़ा रहेगा. सोचो, one bite and you are gone. And it doesn't eat human being because we look like that seal. You know what is seal? और हमारे वो रैप्टर्स लोग सी रैप्टर में लेट जाना है, फिर ऐसा ऐसा करके दिखा और फिर उसको क्या मानेगा तो रैप्टर एक ही सील है. एंड थोड़ा भी अगर आपका बॉडी का ब्लड अगर गया इन लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस आल्सो इट कैन कम विद इन नो टाइम टू यू. देयर आर मूवीज इन हॉलीवुड, जॉस 1, जॉस 2, जॉस 3 देखना का पूरा पुराना मूवी है बट दिस इज अभी जॉस देखा है. शार्क के बारे में लिखा है एंड दैट इज अ ग्रेट वन. एंड अगर आपको उसने पकड़ा भी है या नहीं छोड़ रहा है, the only place you have to hit him is the eyes. If not, within no time you might be inside his stomach. Okay, so that is ocean. So shall we wind up? Shall we get it back to our chapters or और भी ये वीडियो देखना है? ये बच्चे डर गए उसको सोच के. अरे तुम्हारे पास नहीं आएगा, थोड़ी टब्स में आता है. अब चाहिए तो आपको मैं एंडिंग में दिखाता हूँ. I love it. Great white. So let's move. So what I was trying to explain on the same diagram is look here. Are you seeing ocean currents? Even here. So what you have to do, causes को बाद में करेंगे. अच्छा, you check with me. इधर से कुछ notes चाहिए क्या? वरना मैं directly आपको ocean currents में लिख देता हूँ. Any of the notes you need? Or who cannot need? You study through? ठीक है, तो डायरेक्टली एक काम करो, you put the heading as ocean currents, correct? Because tides को आप यहाँ से कर सकते हैं ना? Confirm. Did I give spring and neap tide? Did I give it in the notebook? Did I give it in the notebook? हाँ ठीक है, volume में head कर. You guys are true, हाँ बहुत easy. Write down ocean currents. Are large masses of surface water. Are large masses of surface water. In a regular specific pattern. Oh my,
Specific
pattern around the oceans. Around the oceans. Specific pattern around the oceans. Underline the word specific. Example, you write Labrador cold. Labrador cold current, North Atlantic drift, North Atlantic drift. Next point. ocean currents. अच्छा आप लोग लिखना भी नहीं है, directly लिखो ocean currents and make it like what I am doing. Either pencil or pen. इधर लिखो warm current. Here you write cold current. इधर लिखो based on temperature. ये लड़का तो रेगुलरली आता था ना, वो किधर है ये बच्चा, उसका भी एग्जाम है एंड और एक दिन तो रेडी बोल्स और ये लड़का लड़का ये बच्ची तेरी शी कौन है, नोबडी इज फ्रॉम स्कूल राइट अप वार्म करंट के नीचे careful with the words, I'm trying to give specific words for you. Flows from low latitudes. Low latitudes, flows from low latitudes hyphen in tropical zones towards high latitudes in temperate and subpolar zones. Just don't subpolar zones. Before learning, you just read the way I am making you to read. Come on, say. Flows from low in tropical zone towards temperate, high latitude in temperate and subpolar. You remember that Earth diagram? If you remember very clearly, correct? I said this is temperate zone. Yeah, right?
Yes.
Equator to 23.5 degrees. This is the Egypt to इधर है. ये कौन सा zone है?
ये ट्रॉपिकल है और शायद बीच वाला टेम्परेट नहीं टेम्परेट टेम्परेट
ये टॉरेंट है.
हां
This is clear. Thank you. So when I am trying to say this is from here, it is going here. ये low latitude है और ये high latitude. So that is why these are warm currents or cold currents. Warm currents. अभी read करके देखो. You will not confuse. Okay. Second point. It brings warm water into cold water areas. It brings warm water into cold water areas. Underline only the warm water. Second, cold current on the other side, cold current. Have low surface temperature, and have cold water mixing with warm water regions, and have cold water mixing with warm water regions. One more thing. Pehla wala, if you remember, from low to high, correct? This is it flows from high latitudes in polar regions to low latitudes in warm equator region. So she told me that frigid zone. Okay, ऐसा move करेगा, correct है? ये cold current है और ये कौन सा current है? This is warm current and this is cold current. Always keep this picture in your mind. If you want, you can draw a small thing and keep it, so that you don't get confused. Okay, surface and deep water. Okay, वो भी लिख लो. Next is ये दो division है. Now make one more division like this. Ocean currents. एक टाइप लिखो surface and दूसरे साइड लिखो deep water. Middle में लिखो ocean currents. One side you write surface and other side you write deep water. Surface. It forms. No differentiating. Like this only. Just look at me. A flow chart, but this is an arrow chart. It forms only 10% of all ocean water. Which lies at the upper UEE 400 meter of the ocean. Underline only 10% and underline upper 400 meter. You go to deep water currents. It forms 90% of the ocean water. Which moves around the basins, ocean basins, which moves around the ocean basins. Due to differences in density and gravity. You remember density का मतलब क्या है? वो ज़्यादा पानी salty रहेगा, and gravity pull ज़्यादा रहेगा. They are deep. Due to density, differences in density and gravity. Underline density and gravity. That's all. Now I'm going to give causes, but you can have a 1 or 2 minutes break within the classroom. If you want to go out, fresh water, fresh air, that's also. Maybe we can finish if possible. So schools, any semester exams, any of your 4 guys schools?
Yes.
50 months.
20.
Is it going to be added into your final? Maybe that's all the copy month.
हमारे यहाँ थोड़ी कॉपी
टेस्ट नंबर वही होता है ना. I remember once in my college days, one of my economics teacher told, today we need to open textbook test. सब कुछ में बोला भी थे. So 50 months. हम लोग सब अक्सर कैसे पागल लिखते हैं. मैंने 4 क्वेश्चन दिया. आयशा पर पूरा मराठी में. एक क्वेश्चन का आंसर में पूरा टेक्स्ट बुक दो लिया नहीं. फिर मैं स्टाफ को मिला, मैंने दर्द से कहा ये मैंने हो गया. आपने बोला टेक्स्ट सीख बोला टेक्स्ट आप कितना भी ड्रिंक लो उसके आंसर भी. ये ऑल सर्चिंग जो मिला एक दिन बाद उसने बोला सर्विस में बोला अरे क्वेश्चन का आंसर कुछ भी लिखना देगी मां अंडर देगी. She passed everyone. मैंने तो लिखा भी नहीं. 4 आंसर 2 आंसर थोड़ा next time the madam, how many ones open textbook? Madam, make the people have closed this book. So there is an university in India, whether you know that. IGNO करके सुना है? Indira Gandhi Open National University. अब लोग बार-बार मैडम को चिढ़ाते रहते हैं. मैडम ये ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी का मतलब क्या है? कुछ नहीं है. हम टेक्स्ट बुक्स उनको देते जाने का. यूनिवर्सिटी ओपन है. आप लोग बैठ पढ़ाई करो. मैडम ने हमको बात सिखाने के लिए ऐसे किया. ओपन टेक्स्ट बुक टेस्ट. So your school is going to give exams for holidays of Deepavali.
Yes.
How many days?
10 days.
10 days. उसके पहले exams.
Okay, wait. After
अभी तो मिल रहा है. How many are going to have a Diwali bash this year? ठीक है. ये साल exam संख्या मना. शायद यूपी ने भी 4 दिन का छुट्टी दिया है. Because it's a- You don't want 4 days of holiday. You're planning to go abroad, go outside. 4 days weekend. So गरबा में कौन एकदम क्या किया? अरे मैं कभी उसमें गया भी नहीं, पर एक बार ही गया था. One that stick on the eyes of the opposite. जो डांडिया वो गरबा मतलब what you got the best costume and कुछ कुछ लगता है ना कुछ नहीं. So you mother daddy ये ना अपने से डराते रहते हैं. आप फिर क्या क्या मिला? तुम्हें 4 दिन है तो प्राइस लगने का बेस्ट टाइम चला है ना. सब तुमको ही मिलता है. Don't tell me. इतना भी मॉडस्टी सब मतलब क्या क्या अर्लियर जॉब आते हैं गरबा में टोटल ट्रांसफर इतना भी दोस्त को कम है ना. You watch it or you also participate? Especially I love this young girls should go. है ना, वरना मम्मी किधर पापा आपको ये सब नहीं देते ना, नहीं करते ना, क्या करते हैं. So you need और दिया है skills. इसलिए मैंने पूरा वर्ड नहीं बोला. अरे घर पे ही बना देने का, लाइट्स लेकर आने का और नेबर कंप्लेन करने का. नेबर को बोलने का इतना तकलीफ है तो तुम भी आ. चलिए. Now let's go to the first pattern. First one. Acha, instead of making you to write, shall we mark it and explain in a thorough way? We'll do. First, you take your page number 121, Gulf Stream. है? Page number? Gulf Stream. Circulation pattern also छोड़ देना. अच्छा मैं कितना छोड़ दिया है. अच्छा ocean currents surface and हो गया. Causes you remind me, when these guys come, we'll explain. It is in the northern extension. Underline that. Towards Europe. So देखो ऐसा arrow mark डालो. Towards Europe तो ऐसा arrow mark डालो. मतलब it is entering into Europe. बहुत अच्छा मिला नहीं. The North Atlantic Drift. उसका नाम उधर North Atlantic Drift. Open bracket. The powerful warm swift Atlantic Ocean current originates in Gulf of Mexico. Close the bracket. Then come down. It follows the eastern coastal lines of US and enters in Newfoundland before crossing Atlantic Ocean. So normally people feel, sir, ये headache है, मैं कैसा learn करूँ? कैसा learn करेगा? Simple way में बता दूँ. देखो, पहला लाइन में क्या लिखा है? It is a north extension. Where it comes from? Europe. And where it is flowing? North Atlantic Drift. How it is? A powerful warm swift Atlantic Ocean current start होता है Mexico से. अभी इसको मन में एक बार बोलो. Heart of heart. Still you feel how you can ask. Because these are nothing to understand. You have to learn. Where it starts from? Gulf of Mexico. Where it enters? अभी बोलो, अभी जो बोलो. North Atlantic, Europe. Europe से, ठीक है. And what kind of wind it is? Powerful, warm or cold? Warm ocean current. अभी समझ में आ रहा है? And at about 30 or 30 and the Gulf Stream, open bracket, influences the climate of the east coast of America from Florida to Newfoundland and west coast of Europe. तो आपको ऐसा लिखने का. It influences the climate. यहाँ तक लिखा. फिर just टिक करो, छोटा छोटा टिक. North America, Florida, Newfoundland and west coast of Europe. अभी ये बोल के देखो. Everyone silently. Influences the climate. and ask me to. अगर ये टेक्निक फाइंड आउट किया तो इजी है, नथिंग टू। पक्का? अब ऐसा लग रहा है कि थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट है। Okay, then the next one. Its presence has led to the development of वो भी नीचे, it has, did you see presence को कट कर दो और S को भी कर दो, it has led to the development of strong cyclones of all types first. Gulf Stream open bracket, a significant potential source of renewable power generation. Why it is renewable? Definitely पानी में तो फिर थर्मस तो नहीं रहे। ओके, और कुछ अरे ओशन करंट से बार बार आएगा ना। अभी आपने हाइड्रो बोला, हाइड्रो का मतलब क्या है? वी आर मेकिंग द वाटर टू फॉल फ्रॉम ईदर ओशन, ना से उड़ के पानी ऊपर फेंकेगा नीचे। तो ये ओशन करंट है ना, इट इज गोइंग टू कम एवरी सीजन, करेक्ट? एवरी 24 hours or every 12 hours it is going to keep coming. It is going to rotate what? The turbines. Don't say it is hydro. Hydro ही है, but due to the ocean current, since you are feeling cold, देखो कितना दूर का फैन आपको। So is this Gulf Stream clear? Will you able to write in your notebook or shall I give it? जगह वाले दोनों अलग लिखो। North Atlantic Ocean. First point, a warm Atlantic Ocean current runs from Grand Bank to Newfoundland, but Grand Bank to Western Europe. ऐसा मार्क करो समझेगा, ये भाई सब तो पूरा ये मार्क करके रखिए, कैसे समझेगा? Shall I give this to you? Where is your volume? Come again? Come again, I don't understand Hindi.
Sir, मेरी volume
I don't understand a single word of Hindi. How do you say?
मला सजिक
This is okay, I understand. कभी दशहरा में लोग दोनों चिल्ला रहे थे ना, उद्धव and एकनाथ शिंदे। Okay, ऐसा बोलो। Then the warm Gulf Stream current is deflected towards the east, उधर ही मार्क कर लो बस। And the rotation of the earth is not. एक काम करो, ये मैं देता हूँ because ये थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी लगा आपको लिखना। North Atlantic Drift. Want to write or don't want to? But I ये एक ही लिखते हैं फिर बाइंड करते हैं, ठीक है? For the other lecture we are writing many things.
Yes.
कुछ क्या? अच्छा है ना, systematic है। Point number 1 under North Atlantic Drift. It's a warm Atlantic Ocean current. A warm Atlantic Ocean current. Directly hyphen डालो, Grand Bank to Western Europe. Grand Bank, Grand Bank to Western Europe. तो लिखने में कितना फास्ट देगा और समझ भी करो। Second point.
Can you repeat after
Grand Bank to Western Europe.
Grand
Bank to Western Europe. Next. It is deflected towards the east by the influence of westerlies. By the influence of westerlies. Then east and westerlies, I say
expected towards
east by the influence of westerlies and the rotation of the earth makes it North Atlantic drift, and the rotation of the earth makes it North Atlantic drift. Next, it keeps the ports of Europe. It keeps the ports of Europe free from ice. even in winter season. अच्छा काम है ना? So that ships can come and go.
It
Finally.
reaches the port of
Free from ice, even during winter season. That's it. And they, अच्छा एक छोटा sentence. It flows in three directions. ये exam में students makes it confusing. You write first UK.
three directions.
Three direction. अब ना ऐसा करो. Listen. When you write three direction ना, in your notebook only make it like this. याद रहेगा, है ना? You write first UK. Arrow mark डालो ऐसे लिखो UK. Bracket में डालो eastwards. Eastwards, words. Then you write Arctic region.
Second.
Arctic region. Very good. She has made boldly. Bracket में लिखो southwards. And last में लिखो Spain. Spain. Oh my God, you don't know Spain? I'm just Spain. Spain. Bracket में लिखो cool Canary current. Canary. इसका नाम is the word. Cool canaries. Now check what did you write? Two currents only we have done today. Is it easy? Better to learn like this. So when we are meeting next week, Thursday, so we have to do causes of currents. That is easy. फिर और क्या बाकी है? हाँ, ये Labrador है, Kuroshio, OSQ है. ये ocean का मतलब जल्दी. Any queries, any complaints, any requests, any demands? We have that reach. ICSE में हॉस्पिटल में स्टार्ट करें. हेड हॉस्पिटल में हम लोग कहाँ पर है? कितना करंट किया है? नहीं? यही कर दिया ना हम लोग ने दो की. नॉट करता है. They keep informing me as well as the other teachers, any changes in your school portion, because 9th ICSE, all of a sudden they will say, ye test hai, wo test hai. So there will get any penalty or anybody. Video work kiya kya dekhta. The most important, are you interested? We have 3 minutes to go. So, एकदम smooth way में देख के भाग जाओ.
Food chains. The global conveyor belt is the longest current in the world, snaking all around the globe, but it only moves a few centimeters per second. It could take a drop of water 1,000 years to make the full trip. However, rising sea temperatures are causing the conveyor belt to seemingly slow down. Models show this causing havoc with weather systems on both sides of the Atlantic, and no one knows what would happen if it continues to slow or if it stopped altogether. The only way we'll be able to forecast correctly and prepare accordingly will be to continue to study currents and the powerful forces that shape them. What about the creatures that adapted to survive in these swirling seas? Take a closer look at some fascinating ocean dwellers with these two animations.
Hopefully not getting late. पक्का ना? बच्चियाँ सबका फैमिली मेंबर आता है ना? पक्का? You go alone. Oh my God. किधर? अच्छा, look at the teeth. Let's see if this one is it's catching a human being. Huh? This is what it looked like. This was that whale I was saying. You see, big whale. Mysterious. ये गुजरात कोस्ट में भी मिलता है. नहीं मतलब इंसान को अटैक नहीं कर सकता. ओ यही था. No, this one. guys are going for nothing.
A lot of disbelief. This hadn't happened in San Diego in over 50 years. It was a sad day. It felt like summertime. It was a beautiful San Diego day.
In the early morning, Scott Bass was paddleboarding along Fletcher Cove, about 15 miles north of the city of San Diego. He's near a group of triathletes in training. Among them is retired veterinarian Dr. Dave Martin.
Dr. Martin was swimming with this triathlete group. They were approximately 150 yards off of the surf line.
But somewhere below the group, a predator takes aim.
It's majestic.
A shark sinks its teeth into Dr. Martin's legs and launches him out of the water. He screams for help. Everyone in the water is stunned.
It was very surreal. People were scared.
Dr. Martin disappears underwater. Finally, the shark releases its hold, and the group pulls Dr. Martin back to shore. First responders race into action.
I remember the helicopter came right above me and just blew down on me. There's been a shark attack. Please get out of the water immediately.
But for Dr. Martin, the injuries to his legs are too severe. Before he can be transported to a hospital, he succumbs to his injuries. The tragedy captures the attention of Southern California residents.
There was a lot of police there. There was a lot of media there. There was a lot of shock. There was a lot of sadness. There was a lot of despair.
And news outlets cover it worldwide.
You know, it's a big deal. You know, there hasn't been a shark attack, a fatal shark attack in San Diego in something like 50 years.
Residents are stunned. Since 1970, the area has averaged about one attack every 3 years. But Dr. Martin's fatal incident in 2008 is just the harbinger of things to come. In 2009, a sudden spike takes hold. 6 attacks in only 7 months.
I'm sure any number of parents were concerned. People were trying to figure it out.
Okay, so thank you for keeping patience to watch the great predator. If